accomplished actor and producer who has worked extensively in the Nigerian film industry since the 90s.
She made her debut as an actor in the critically acclaimed soap opera Checkmate.
Now that particular soap, when that soap started, I was still quite young.
Yeah.
But I can still remember everybody rushing home to make sure that they were going to watch
It was 8 p.m. every Thursday.
Yes.
You just had to watch
You actually remember the time? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You don't understand. We had only one TV channel. That was it.
Yeah.
You know, and VCR was like a luxury way back then.
But the thing is, you don't even look it. You look so amazing.
You look the
Thank
same.
you. Thank you.
Last 25 years or so.
Thank you.
So we didn't just say highly accomplished. So there's so many other things you're doing that, of course, you took quite a bit of time, you know, after acting to come back into it as a producer and I think a director at one point. But I'm thinking about the fact that you had to balance family life and this industry. Please, how on earth were you able to manage that?
I mean, well, you know how it is. You don't, it's not easy to balance, but it's one of those things where you sort of have all these balls in the air and you just have to find a way. I guess that's balance of sorts, but it's never a complete balance. Something always, you know, sometimes shifts, but great help is good. So family, friends, help, very good. You know, I always, if I need help, I ask for it. I'm not ashamed to ask. So I've been able to do, you know, do all that balancing. So that's probably why.
So you've had a wide-ranging career. Even when you took time off the movies, you went into specific things that you were doing. So it wasn't like you just chilled. And some of the work that you've done has been focused on women. And, you know, recently you became the 60th president of the International Women's Society in Nigeria. I mean, that's absolutely amazing. That's a big accomplishment. Can you tell us about some of the work that you do with women?
Well, society, as you said, focuses mainly on women. So we have things like a trust fund for widows. We have empowerment for girls through scholarships. So we start them from primary school all the way up to secondary school. We, you know, sort of pay for their education because we know how important education is. And then we also have support for them in our Skills Acquisition Center where we empower different young women who want to get into fashion design, adult literacy, you know, whatever careers they want to pursue, we sort of help. We ensure they get training, and then in some cases, you know, when they go on, we follow up with them, see how they're doing. They come back and give testimonials about what they've done. So that's the sort of support that we generally offer for women.
So generally, you know, it's not really easy to find someone who was, who in a sense started off acting, going into some of the areas that you've, you know, found yourself in. Was this a deliberate transition? Was this a deliberate move? And then, of course, you did decide to come back into the industry. We're going to talk about that later on. So what happened in that gap?
I think what it is I think naturally for a lot of us, at some point you realize that you have a level of privilege and you think, okay, I have this much, I should be doing something, I should give back. So it was always something I wanted to do. And so it didn't exactly look for me or I looked for it, it just happened. And then of course, I think also when you're in the public eye, people definitely look at you. You have this platform where you can utilize to shine a light on different causes and, you know, make a change if possible, where possible. So I think we found each other. I wasn't looking, and it wasn't, the causes weren't looking for me, but we sort of came together at the appropriate time. So it's always been one of those things that just happened, but it was something I definitely was thinking about doing.
So I mean, something happened last month. That, you know, and people thought you were courting controversy when you talked about. I thought, I mean, I have a background in theatre from the University of Lagos, and there's some of the things that you said, you know, resonated a lot. And you were talking about the fact that you missed the days when content was rich, original. Even without tech. And a lot of people were like, where's she from? What's she talking about? And all of that. But it resonated also with a lot of people because one of the things that you were asking was, where is the story? Where are the original stories? Why aren't people coming up with like rich, deep content like they used to? And I think a lot of people also responded to that because it was, you know, back and forth on social media. But what is your response to the detractors and people that are saying that, look, things have changed?
No, I mean, things have changed and it's great. Technology is great, but there's nothing that says because we have technology now, that we should lack originality or that our stories should be rich and full of content. This country is a country steeped in so much great culture. We have fantastic content. We have such rich stories that we can use. So I'm like, why don't we do that? Why are we always focusing on something? We're very Americans focused. Whatever seems to have worked in America is what we sort of bring back. I understand that. There are influences. People have influences from everywhere. But I like the fact that we have so much depth, so much originality. I want us to use it. I mean, everybody has their own, is entitled to their own opinion, but this is my opinion. Yeah. And I think it is important, especially in film, allowing people to come with their own stories, express themselves in different ways, bring that narrative to the, to the table. And I think we can handle all of that, different genres, explore. Do a lot more than we're doing. It's very narrow at the moment. And I know that when I started out, that was one of the things that endeared us to the audience, that we had this original content. Yes, a bit of that influence from the West. But at the end of the day, a lot of our lives are influenced by the West, but it doesn't mean that our culture should be completely submerged. Yeah.
All right. So we heard from a little birdie that there's something new coming out.
Yes. Quite a number of things.
Yeah. Quite a number of new things. There are two main ones that we found out about. Yeah. But I know there's a new movie coming out.
Yes. I did an experimental film, and it's directed by Akin Motoshaw, and it's called A Hotel Called Memory. And stars Nse Ikwetim, Kemi Lala Kindoju, and Mbata Monto, who is a South African actress, Nomanzo. It's one of those stories where, again, for me, it was a departure. And that's what I was talking about when I was talking about originality and being more creative. Akin Motoshaw brought that story to me.
I'm going to have to stop you there because I want people to see exactly what you're talking about and hear it as well.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's an interesting trailer. I feel like watching that one again. So where is it set? Where's the movie set?
It was set in Lagos, Cape Town, and Zanzibar.
Okay.
Yes, and it's very, very visual, very lyrical storytelling. So I'm really excited for people to see it. It's me putting my money where my mouth is. I said all this about originality, creativity. Well, this is it. Okay. I'm bringing that to the table.
So, I mean, I know we don't have that much time left, but there's something I have to talk about, which is, why are you smiling? There are a few on-screen type chemistry that we've seen in the past 30 years, like the one between you and RMD. And recently, I mean, it was your birthday, and he said, all these nice glowing things about you on Instagram, and everybody was talking about it again, like, as usual. But there's something that you're doing with him now, which is sort of like, everyone is also talking about it as well, that Mr. X, will you want to talk about it?
Well, I just think everybody should look out for it. We'll talk a lot more about it closer to when it's ready to come out. But yes, I'm excited to go back into acting because producing has been my thing for a long time, 20 years.
Any anxiety?
I mean, I think before I went on sets, there probably was, but once I got there, it's like riding a bicycle.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
You just get straight back into it. Yeah.
Well, we have to rush off to the kitchen now because I think breakfast is ready.
Smells good.
It does, it does. So let's take a stroll and find out what Beyonce has put together for us.
Beyonce.
Wow, look at that.
Always killing us.
Praying that we like it.
Wow, this is nice.
And putting smiles on our faces since 1900.
Wow, this is
all right. Very visually appealing.
Yeah, I am. Please, thank you.
So we have this is
yours.
golden coconut rice and vegetable chicken sauce.
Oh.
Yeah. So yes, it looks golden. So we added turmeric to the coconut milk to make it look this color, and we made the sauce out of carrots, bell peppers, onions and garlic and the chicken, season it, add your corn flour and water, mix it, pour it, and add your stock or seasoning cube and cook it together, and everything is set.
All right.
Nice.
Go.
So please, while you're having a taste, we have to wrap up the show. It's about time for us to go now, but hopefully you had as much fun as we did. It's Friday, people.
Yeah, so of course, everybody's beginning to unwind and just relax.
Yes.
I want to say a big thank you to Payport Food Stores for the groceries and Homely NG for the kitchen accessories as well.
Thank you so much to Fola's Place for styling my hair, Louisa for this amazing outfit. And well, hey, it's Friday. Yomi is paying for the movies. Everybody in the studio. Everybody is going to movies today on him.
My 2 terabyte hard drive is waiting for everyone who wants to watch.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
All right, see you again on Monday at 7
It's
a.m.
amazing, right?
It is really nice.